Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the letter of intent, or the LOI, original first meeting that we do with people. Alright, so we already talked about mindset. If you haven't already watched the mindset video, please go back and watch that. It's extremely important that you have your head right before proceeding with this. Now, in the LOI meeting, this is extremely crucial that we want to accomplish a couple of things. First, we want to qualify the customer, make sure that this is actually going to work for them. And for two, we need to help them understand everything about the program. This is where we make the sale. The goal is not to get them to sign the letter of intent. The goal is to get them to have at least a soft commitment for the PPA. We'll go. The stakes, in their mind, the stakes are low. They're not signing anything today. It's not a big deal. We're just going over information, make sure that this is a good fit. But on the other hand, I mean, our goal is to have a pretty firm commitment, assuming that the numbers are going to work for them. When we come back with the PPA, with the proposal, they're going to be ready to sign. So, first thing you do, you walk in. You have posture. Mindset, you've got the cookie like I already mentioned, and number one is we want to build rapport. Rapport is spelled really weird. Rapport. All right, rapport. All right, so you want to connect with the customer. There's a glare. Anyway, so you want to connect with the customer on some level. Talk about their kids, talk about their house, talk about, I don't know, if there's no connection, then there's no credibility. They're not going to trust you. So you need to figure out a way that you can connect with the customer on a really basic level. Next thing I like to do is I actually like to start with a Q&A. You need to kind of see where they are. Some people know a lot about solar. Some people don't know anything. So really, yeah, you got to know where to start. You don't want to just jump into a bunch of information and then they kind of just sit and wait patiently and wait for you to stop talking. Because if they have concerns in the back of their head that they need to have addressed, they won't even hear anything that you're saying until that gets addressed. Anyway, and again, in the question and answer, you're able to build rapport. If you work this in as you would a conversation, or just an open, natural, flowing dialogue, you're gonna have a lot more credibility. You're gonna build rapport, and it's just gonna work a lot better than if you just start yakking for 30, 40 minutes and then wait for questions at the end. No, open it up, make it natural. Make it natural. So step number 3, you're just going to show the bird's eye view, show the system. They need to see a very basic, simple explanation for what a power purchase agreement is. You can't talk about Warren Buffett and all this other stuff if they don't understand the basic concept of a PPA. All right. So what I do most of the time, this is how I start. I pull this out and I explain. Okay, right now you're connected to Nevada Energy, and you've had no other choice but to pay them for whatever rates that they decide to charge you. Anyway, you're tied to the grid this way. It depends, and some people need a little bit more explanation, but basically I say right now you're tied to the grid. What we do is we install solar on your home, tie into the same exact electrical panel that you already have, and we just charge you. We sell you the power that's produced from the system at a cheaper rate than what Nevada Energy is charging you through the grid. And then I pause. It needs to sink in. This is a foreign concept to most people. Anyway, go slow with this. If they understand this concept right here, they're still tied to the grid, and anyway, you're selling them power at a cheaper rate than what you're getting with Nevada Energy. That sets everything up to go over the rest of the details. If they don't understand this basic concept, you're wasting your time, and it's going to be really painful, and it's just going to be kind of an abstract idea for them. So anyway, so I want to show bird's eye view of the system. Number 4, they need to understand why it's no cost out of pocket for them for the system. Now, this is where we talk about rebates, credits, things like that. Now, these rebates and credits are not going to last forever. That's the selling point. That's the fear of loss that they need to understand. That once these rebates are gone, they're gone, and they won't be there. For one, we may not be able to offer the program at all, or they won't be able to get as good a rates as they're getting right now with the system. So I can tell you right now, I live in Utah, and the state of Utah has done a lot of incentives for and the federal government too for insulation, windows, make your home more efficient, that type of thing. And they were great when they first got started. But now the money is basically gone, and now the rebates are still there, but they suck. They're really not. They're just nowhere near as good as they used to be. And that same thing is going to happen with these rebates and credits. May want to talk to them about that these credits with the federal government. These are tax credits, not tax rebates. So they need to know that if they don't have tax liability, then that tax credit's not going to do anything for them. I'll talk more about that in another video or whatever, but it was pretty basic concept. I'll just talk real fast. If it's a $10,000 system, all right. If it's a $10,000 system, with installation and materials and things, if they were to buy the system themselves, they would qualify for a $3,000 tax credit. All right. So a $3,000 tax credit. If they don't owe at least $3,000 in tax liability, if they don't owe $3,000 in taxes, then this is no good to them. Then that credit is useless. The government's not going to send them a check for that credit. So anyway, so it's 30% is what the federal tax credit is. So anyway, so people need to understand that if they're looking at buying a system themselves, that's something that they need to factor in, that they may or may not qualify for those credits. So. Fear of loss. These are not going to last forever. That's the basic concept you want to get taken care of with that. All right, number 5. Going kind of fast here, but anyway, just want to give you a bird's eye view of everything you need to touch on. Number 5, you want to talk about the warranty. This is where you want to talk about 25 years. We're making the 25-year warranty. We give you a full 25-year warranty, top to bottom, bumper to bumper. If a tornado comes through, rips off one of the panels and throws it in your neighbor's pool, we cover that 100%. We monitor it. We make sure that everything is working in a top-notch form and fashion for a minimum 25 years. So anyway, so that way, the way I just presented it, the 25 years was actually a big selling point. Nobody else offers a 25-year warranty. Most other companies only do a 20-year warranty on the program. So anyway, so yes, it's a 25-year contract, but can you imagine a scenario where they're not going to buy buying power? Anyway, so use the 20. This is where you want to talk about it is a 25-year agreement that we're going to offer a top-notch service for the length of the agreement. So. Right here, it's another good time you want to talk about not a lot, but you want to talk about installation. A lot of people, they're just concerned. Are you guys gluing the system to my shingles? How does that work? Just want to briefly explain. Yeah, if you have tile shingles or whatever, we'll take out one of the shingles. We're gonna drill into your actual truss. We're gonna and then seal that up, put a flashing down, and then we put a rail across those drilling points into the actual trusses, and then we put the panels on top of those rails. Again, you want to be very basic, very simple with that, but just kind of help them understand that that's how it works. oftentimes I'll actually like to step outside with the customer and point at the roof and just kind of talk about, okay, yeah, this is a good place for them. This is what it's going to look like. Yeah, if you have a south-facing roof, yeah, they're probably going to want to put them right here. Even if that's not exactly the case, make it theirs. They need to understand. Speak very assumptively because you're going solar. Because anyway, when you sign this, when you get this set up, speaking when type of thing, make it theirs. So, all right. Next thing we want to talk about is rates. This is a really good time where we want to talk about Nevada Energy, what they have been doing, and you can talk a lot about this. You can talk a little. They just mostly need to understand that that NV Energy is the bad guy here. They anyway, I don't have it right now, but anyway, but you want to pull out your graph and you want to show them how NV Energy, how their rates they've gone up 155% in the last 5 years. In 2011, they were at 6 cents per kilowatt. You're going to pull out their power bill. Oh, at the very beginning, first thing you walk in the door, you want to get their power bill, and you want to pull out their power bill and show them exactly how much they are paying per kilowatt. You just look at how many kilowatts they used that month, divide that by how much their major power bill was, or the actual bottom line, and you show them that they're paying right around 14.5 cents per kilowatt. That's what they're paying right now. So 6 cents just a few years ago. Now they're paying over 14.5. So and we're looking at 155% increase from just in a few years. Now that's massive, massive. You just you help them see the picture. This is what's going on in the industry. This is why people are going solar. And this is when you want to explain, yes, our rate does go up. It goes up with inflation, but only at a rate of 2.9% each year. If you look at each consecutive year with Nevada Energy for the last 5 years, they've gone up on average at least 20% each year. We're going to go up 2.9%. You know exactly what your rates are going to be. And with us, there's no service charges, no taxes, other fees, or whatever. There's nothing out of pocket that way, ever. And our rate only goes up 2.9%. So the 2.9% is a selling point at this. If it's presented right. All right. So next thing, you want to help them understand how and why they're going to have two power bills and how that's going to actually save them money. Now, if you pull out their actual power bill, you can show them. Okay, let's say they're using 1,000 kilowatts. They used 1,000 kilowatts last month, just for simple numbers. And let's say they're paying at a rate of 14.5 cents per kilowatt. All right, simple math. That's about 145 bucks. All right, pull out your calculator. 145 bucks. That's how that adds up. All right. So that's what they're doing right now. What we are going to do, let's say just for simple numbers. These are not actual numbers. But let's just say this is an example. Let's say we cover 80% of their total power usage for the month, and so they use 800 kilowatts from us next month, and they use 200 kilowatts with Nevada Energy, NVE, and I'm going to say solar. All right. So let's say this is a breakdown. So they're using the exact same amount of power. All right. So with us, I don't know what your rate is going to be until we actually come back and do the site survey. But let's say your rate is at 12 cents. I've seen it a little bit. I've seen it better. I've seen it worse or whatever. But let's just for simple numbers, let's say that. Now, because you're going solar, it's a great time to talk about time of use. Because you're going solar, the power that you're using with Nevada Energy during the summer months is going to be at a drastically lower rate, because during the highest usage part of the month, part of the day, is when the solar actually works the best. So the NB energy bill, or the usage, is let's say that 200 kilowatts, you're going to be 8 or 9 cents per kilowatt. So you're using the same amount of power but your rates with our rate and with Nevada energy rates are going to be substantially lower. So this is how people save money. So anyway, you can factor that out. You can add it up. Okay, this is approximately what your savings would be for this month, and this is how you're going to be saving money with 2 different bills. Now this is pretty important. Two bills is kind of a stumbling block for some people, but if they understand, okay, this is how the math breaks down, then they're going to be prepped. They're going to be okay with that. They're going to be like, oh, okay. If they understand exactly how that works, they're going to sign. They're going to sign the PPA. A confused mind always says no. If they're unsure, if they're just like, hi, if they don't really understand it, they're not going to sign. They're not. That's why oftentimes I've met with people that English is their second language and they're just not really confident with English. Even though they kind of understand what I'm saying, they don't understand it enough that they're going to sign the contract. So neither here or there, they just need to understand. So this one you talk about, number 8, is when let's say if they move. All right. Now this needs to be again a selling point. Okay, if let's say over the next let's say in 10 years from now or whatever, between now and the next 25 years, you decided you want to sell your house. Perfect. All you got to do is give us a call. We will work with your realtor, and we will help you. We will help sell your home. People who have solar, their houses sell faster. They sell it for more. Pretty huge. And this is anyway. We will help you sell your house, and we make anyway. So transferring of the agreement to the new owners of the home. This is not a problem. I'm going to talk about in another video about overcoming objections and things. But this is the basic idea that you want. Say we have a couple of options. If you want to move, we can move the system. We can move the system to your new home. Or we'll help you sell your current home using the solar. So pretty huge. So anyway, so that's another selling point. It's not a hiccup. It's actually something that's this is actually going to help them in the future. So next thing, after 25 years, I like to use this word, gift. After 25 years, after the 25-year agreement, we gift you the system, and whatever power is produced from the system at that point is completely free. Free power. Huge. Pretty awesome. Okay, and then you want to talk about, number 10, is you want to talk about the process. Again, you want to be real assumptive here. You want them to understand, okay, this is what we do next. We're going to set up a time for a site survey. We're going to measure your roof. We're going to do this. We're going to come back with a proposal, and we're going to show you the actual numbers, your actual savings, and things like that, and very conservative projections of what you're going to save over the next 25 years. After that, once we get you signed, again, be very assumptive. Once we sign the agreement, we're going to start on the permitting process, and yada yada yada. Once permitting's done, we do the install, and we use a really assumptive language here. Help them understand, help them see top to bottom, start to finish, what the process is going to be, so they can kind of expect that. All right, now, there's from here. I mean, I usually just I pull out the LOI and I just assume they're gonna sign. Now, we want to make sure that they qualify with their credit, things like that. That's all easy. That's all details that you want to get figured out early on in the discussion if they qualify for credit. So another thing you want to ask is, what do you like best of everything that I've talked about so far? What do you like best about what I've talked about? That's a great question. I mean, if there's like, well, I like the fact that it adds value to my home, or I like this or that. These are all things that you take note of that you can touch on again when